starting at 3:35, Monday, July 13th. In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-6, ETSEQ, as sequential. Adequate notification of this meeting has been provided by advertising in the Observer and posted in the Borough Clerk's office.
I'll do it.
Okay.
Roll call. Mrs. Leoni?
Here.
Mrs. Dishkus? Ms. Laura Dishkus is absent. Ms. Hernandez? Here. Ms. Magali Garnica? Here. Ms. Marissa Garnica is absent. Ms. Guerrero? Here. We have a quorum.
Stand for the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam President, is there a need to go into executive session? I don't know.
I don't have anything executive.
Can I have anything in written here?
As long as it's
Okay, all right. And no,
You can.
okay.
Okay, so no executive session, so we have a motion for nothing. Great.
the only before we're going to executive. Public comment?
Public comment. Personnel, approval of contract of Stephen Frost, school business administrator.
We have to open public comment. There's no public comment, so no public comment. Okay, then we close public comments.
Closed, okay, public comment is closed. Start with personnel. Approval of contract of Stephen Frost, school business administrator, board secretary. B, approval of Nicole Mueller for 2026-2027 special education teacher position. C, approval of Shannon Hughes for 2026-2027 special education teacher position. And D, approval of Joyce Machinsky for curriculum writing for 2026-2027 school year.
Roll call.
That's the question.
This is a consent agenda, so if you'd like to pull an item from the agenda, just talk.
You can take each one, you don't have to go to consent agenda, you can
Can
go
we
each.
do roll call by each one?
Yes,
You can-
Okay.
you can.
Okay.
Make a motion for each one and get it seconded.
Okay. So we're gonna do a motion for each letter, starting with N. Just write down.
Make a motion.
Okay, so motion to vote on each individually?
Yes.
By letter?
each individ- Oh, you can mention a name. Nobody's an employee here, so there's no rice notices at issue, so you can mention each individual, and just what the recommendation is for.
Just write.
And if anybody has any comments before the vote.
So open a motion for each one?
Yes.
Okay, so motion to vote on letter A.
It's for the contract.
For the contract of Stephen Frost.
Oh, you approve. That's for the whole year.
Okay.
If you make any changes, do that.
Okay, vehicles, okay, so it's stating for July 1st, 2026 to June 30th, 2027. Motion to open the vote.
I have a question about that. This is where, I would like to ask whether we can actually consider an interim 60-day contract appointment for the school business administrator rather than making a permanent appointment today. Because this would allow the district to continuity, because this is what we did. Dr. Bogoli sent the email, and we have an emergency, so we do need to hire somebody. We need our people to get paid, we need everything. However, I don't feel comfortable coming here, sitting down, and I didn't even see the applications. I didn't see how many people applied or anything like that. I did a little bit, I know, and I trust your judgment or why not. However, I feel that I don't want to just sit here, come and say yes, no, to whatever somebody else decided. I think as a board, we should all sit and have the opportunity, just like we did with council. Actually, Madam President, you had a group of members come, and then we went from there. So that's what I thought that it should have been better. Then again, I do see why, and it was such a short notice, but I don't know if it would be convenient to do maybe a 60-day, because we need this to be taken care of, and then we could take the, as a group, as having everybody here, we would decide where we would go. So, I don't know.
But the board does not hire the BA.
We approve it.
We
Correct,
approved the
but I didn't have any
recommendation
idea.
of the superintendent, right?
Well,
So in the previous years, it was recommended by Dr. Bergoglio, the previous superintendent. So we have a BA that is willing to work twice a week, part-time.
right. It's very hard to find
And
people
it
like
is
that.
hard to find,
Yes.
and somebody that it might be here for years. And you don't want to hire somebody that might be here for.
Last time when we hired Andrea, I didn't even know. We were hiring Andrea. And it was like,
I
I don't know.
have a question. Do you check Board Docs?
yes,
Because Board Docs has all the information you need.
right, that's what I saw, but it was so short notice, and I didn't even
And
know that we
since-
were.
We all knew that Andre was leaving.
Right.
Her contract
No,
says
and I
30
saw, that it
days.
was published and all of that, but I personally didn't know it
But
was
that's
8
not
people.
us to
So we just
interview
sit
the
here and say yes
candidates.
or no.
It's not us.
If you're telling me that we just come here and we don't have a right to say anything
We
or have
have
an
a right
opinion
to
of it.
question,
Can I
but what
just
you
interrupt?
ask
You're
me.
in public session and you're
I'm
having a
sorry,
debate.
yeah.
You did not go into closed session, so if at some point you're gonna have this kind of a debate, perhaps, superintendent, they need to be in closed session, otherwise
For the purposes of,
they're gonna debate
Because
back and
actually,
forth.
But that's not a
if
closed
she's
session
entitled to her
agenda,
opinion,
Kyle.
I should be entitled to mine. Because I was the former board president, and I did not interfere with the school operations.
What I
But the
believe,
recommendation of the superintendent is to hire the BA. We hire the superintendent, then that's when we get together and discuss those matters. When it comes to the BA, we're taking upon the recommendation of the superintendent to hire the best person. We have somebody. And now you're telling me,
recommendation, but it doesn't mean that we have to do it.
we don't have to hire, if you don't wanna
But
hire
if I'm
him, that's
sitting
on
here,
you.
no, but I'm saying, we're sitting here, and at least I think we need to know who we're hiring. So I cannot just, Lydia, I'm gonna ask the trustee, did you know who we're hiring? No, she read the paper and that's it. No, Dr. Bogoli had the opportunity to see,
Honestly,
to
I
sit
think
with
you guys
her.
need to have training again on board.
Okay,
on
perfect, thank you
school
for your,
boards.
thank you, and I would love to, because that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm going in, I'm checking policies and everything. It seems like our board has been not running the right way, because not all of us know sometimes what goes on.
I'm
And that's
sorry.
exactly what we
May I
say
ask a
here.
question?
Yes,
Is there a statute, a policy, or any school law that you can provide me with today that gives you the authority to review resumes?
no, I did
notes,
not
or
see that, that's why I'm
recommendations?
sitting here, and that's what I'm asking, and
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
talking.
what
We
I'm
do not
saying.
have that, there is no law. I wrote this to the board president and the entire board last week. But
Uh-huh,
there
yeah,
is no-
I read your
So there
message.
is, but I didn't receive a response asking me for any additional information. I also asked in that email, if you had any questions, to please contact me directly. You could have emailed me, asked me questions.
Well, I
and-
didn't have time, that's why I'm sitting here, and I'm asking
And
and
we're
talking.
here, and what I would say is, this contract for today was approved by the county superintendent. The county superintendent wrote to all of you expressing that this position was at the recommendation of the superintendent.
Right.
Same thing as we're saying now, this is my recommendation as I stated in an email. So, to move a contract, again, would require the approval of the county superintendent to change it to an interim position. We are not at that position right now. For me to resubmit a new contract, even ask Mr. Foss if he would like to take an interim position.
Right, no, I
for
understand
today,
that's also a
or
possibility.
take another month to republish the position, you are putting the district I mean, I appreciate the question to see if it's a possibility, but I would have to caution you that you're putting the district in a fiscal liability.
I understand that, that's why I said, I know you did it because we need it. It's not like we can sit here and say, no, we do not even need a BA, we definitely need it.
And I did outline what I could provide, right? I outlined how many applicants,
Yes, you
of
did.
those applicants who held the certification, of those applicants who were actually experienced, and of those applicants who actually voiced wanting to take on a 2-day-a-week position, who had the experience to come into a small district and take over the reins immediately. So I identified, out of all of those candidates, there was truly only one candidate who met those requirements.
No, my question is, aside from that, how come when we were choosing our council, there was a committee created?
Because there are 5 positions that the board directly hires.
Perfect.
And
Okay.
that is your counsel, your architect, your auditor, the superintendent, and board secretary. Outside of that, the board does not hire any other positions. They take recommendations from the superintendent.
Okay, I want to, as counsel, just clarify, I'm listening to what the superintendent is saying, and I know what positions the board hires. Superintendent makes a recommendation, the board can accept it, reject it, or
Correct.
modify it. They have 3 options, accept, reject, or modify. And the county superintendent reviews a contract not for what the district wants, whether it meets certain statutory criteria. And there are only a couple statutory criteria that the county superintendent will look at. She doesn't look at whether 2 days are needed for a district, 3 days, full-time. She doesn't look at the salary, there are no caps anymore. So the county superintendent reviews a contract and routinely approves them as long as they check off her couple boxes that, you know, they have a fingerprint, they have a certificate, and I forget what other couple items she checks for. She doesn't look at, nor does she, she, because you have a female, is concerned about the rest of the details of the contract. The board has a right to look at that contract and to raise questions. And what they've asked, I'm guessing from the board member, is that can your recommendation be approved for a shorter period of time? You're resigning as superintendent at the end of December. This contract extends far beyond that period to the end of the school year. So it's a legitimate question raised, and the board has to decide whether they want to make a motion to approve a shorter period of a contract, an interim contract, and then the contract, if we go back to the county superintendent for a shorter period of time, she's approved all the terms.
No, I'm
County
sorry.
superintendent
I'm
doesn't.
sorry, you're out of order, counsel, and I believe
I
if it was
don't
an
believe I'm out
interim
of order
position,
if I'm
if
speaking.
it was an interim position, it would still be at the recommendation of the superintendent. And
Exactly.
today, I am not recommending
But-
an interim position.
But the board has the right, again, to accept, reject, or modify same as they do with a teacher. If you make a recommendation, they can approve that, they can reject that, or they can request modification of that recommendation. That is their obligation as a board, not to just simply rubber stamp whatever they're given. So that's something that they will have to decide as a board.
I just don't know how, as a board, how they get to modify a contract unilaterally. Most contracts are approved by the county superintendent before they're brought forth to the table. Today, the question on the table is whether you are approving the recommended candidate for the terms that I have recommended in the contract that the county superintendent has approved. That's what we're here to do today. And yes, the board will have to get their roll call vote. So there's a motion on the table. I don't know if it was seconded.
There wasn't a motion made.
I believe a motion was
Immediately,
made to
the
vote
board
on
made- raised the question about the contract, and the contract also has a provision for termination in it.
I'm sorry, I believe the board president motioned for 4A, and a question was asked.
Yes, after that.
Do you have to decide whether you're making any motions, since you raised the issue.
But we still have
Could I
a
ask the-
motion.
He's
A
here.
motion, and if we don't hire, then our employees won't get paid. So either way, we're stuck.
Mr. Frost, would you be willing to accept?
I'm sorry,
Oh,
Ms.
we can ask them?
No, Ms. Garner,
Oh.
this is not open public comments.
So who we ask? How do we?
Again,
They
it's
say
upon,
we wanna modify it.
again, it's upon my recommendation, and I think you're overstepping. Again, this is upon the recommendation of the superintendent. I've been asked if I'm willing to change my recommendation to an interim position, of which I said I am not making that recommendation today because I don't believe it's in the best interest of the district. Losing a candidate who is a permanent position to be hired for the continuity of services for this district is irresponsible. Not hiring the candidate today makes you, like I said, vulnerable to fiscal issues, including, as Mrs. Fernandez pointed out, as I wrote in my several emails across last week, not paying our employees in 2 days. So I think there's a decision and a motion on the table.
Are we able to move
Since
into?
nobody had seconded the motion, so it's not out there for
We
a
closed,
vote.
we decided there was no executive session meeting for the purposes of what is there an executive
However,
session?
a motion was made and not seconded, so it's
I'll
not
second the motion to
legally.
vote.
Well,
Fine.
I'm talking at this point in time, so there was no request to second the motion. The board president, I know you're used to doing things a totally different way. Board president put a motion out there, never seconded. There's a lot of discussion back and forth with potential candidates sitting there,
But the motion is still open.
but it hasn't been seconded.
She
And
just
at this
seconded
point,
the
the
motion.
board president, I've been talking and
She
she's
seconded
talking
the
over
motion,
me.
though. There was an open motion. The board president motioned.
Board
She just
president
seconded.
didn't call for a second at this point. She asked if the board could go into closed session.
For the purposes of what item for closed?
Discussion of the school business administrator position, which is a
That should
legitimate
have done from
answer
the
to go into
beginning, not now.
closed session. You can go into closed session if the board votes to go into closed session at any point in time. The board president will make a motion to go into closed session if that's the preference of the majority of the board members. It's up to you, if you want to go into closed session and continue this
I just don't think this should keep going on out here.
then you have
Yes,
to.
but I'm
ask.
not changing my resolution.
That's correct. But again, the board members have a right to discuss it
board
in
members can.
closed session.
We can or we can't?
If you do, you can discuss
Personnel in
personnel
closed
in closed
session.
session, yes.
Yes,
So all we can do is accept, reject, or modify this.
Yes.
But we can't, so
We
you
can
go-
say
We
we
Well,
cannot modify
again-
my recommendation.
we cannot modify.
We cannot modify your.
that's what she said. I'm telling you that you can modify a recommendation of the superintendent. It either will pass or fail. If it passes and it's disputed by the superintendent, then the county superintendent can voice her opinion.
We'll leave it up to the county superintendent to decide.
So people don't want that fee.
Do we need someone right now, though? to-
Yes.
to approve?
We will not be able to pay her.
Do you want to go into closed session? Do you have to make a motion to go into closed session?
Motion to go into a closed session.
So I did call.
Closed session at 3:54.
No, I'm sorry, there was no roll call vote to go
Yeah.
into
Oh.
Yeah,
executive.
roll call,
Okay, roll call. Lisa,
yes.
Carla,
Yeah, I guess.
Magali,
Yes.
Media.
Yes.
We would say we are going into executive session at this time.
We're going into executive session at 3:54
To discuss
to
personnel.
discuss personnel.
And so the board may take action upon return.
I'm sorry?
The board may take action upon return.
The board may take action upon return.
We're in there. You stop recording and then we come back.
To come back into open session.
Second. Second.
Okay. Roll call, oh, sorry, 4:03 PM. Lisa.
Here.
Carla.
Yes.
Magali.
Yes.
Media.
Yes.
So we're gonna do personnel. A, approval of contract of Stephen Frost, school business administrator, board secretary. Do I say my own name?
Would you like a motion?
Okay,
You need to reopen the motion.
Okay.
It has to be seconded.
okay. Motion to open the vote for personnel. A, approval of contract of Stephen Frost, school business administrator, board secretary. Second motion.
Second.
Okay. Lisa.
Yes.
Carla.
Yes.
Magali.
Yes.
Media.
Yes.
You vote.
Do I say myself? Okay. Heather? Yes.
They have a board secretary, but she's not here.
Tell the board secretary. We're going to do the roll call. So.
Okay.
No, there is a pro temp board secretary.
No, there is not, ma'am.
So the fact that she hasn't next to her name means she's not the board secretary?
The board secretary left that there. She has not been approved in years to be pro temp. We have board secretary. pro
Her
temp.
correspondence needs to be amended then.
Correct. She's been here several years, and I realized that VA has not removed that from the position. But she
Okay.
does not have a board authorization for that.
Okay. Motion to vote on B, approval of Nicole Mueller for 2026-2027 special education teacher position.
Motion.
Carla,
Second.
Lisa. Okay. Heather, yes. Lisa.
Yes.
Carla.
Yes.
Magali.
Yes.
Media.
Yes.
Okay. Motion for C, approval of Shannon Hughes for 2026-2027 special education teacher position.
Motion.
Yeah. Second?
Second.
Okay. Heather, yes. Lisa.
Yes.
Carla.
Yes.
Magali.
Yes.
Media. Motion for D, approval of Joyce Machinsky for curriculum writing for 2026-2027 school year.
Motion.
Media
Second.
and Lisa. Okay, Heather, yes. Lisa,
Yes.
Media,
Yes.
Carla,
Yes.
Magali.
Yes.
Okay, for approval of consent agenda. Motion.
Went through it.
Second. Motion.
No, we already did the agenda, right?
So
Consent
skip it.
agenda, yeah.
Right.
you can-
Okay. So is that here? Okay. I'm sorry.
Is there any more?
Okay, any old business? New business, I'd like to make a motion to give board council, access to board docs.
And we could do that motion tonight, but I would have to, I'm not going to speak in certainties, I'm not an attorney, but we limited this special meeting for the only two purposes,
Okay.
which I believe adding an additional motion would violate the OPM rules, but I'm
Well,
not
the
an attorney.
board president can absolutely do it because you've made it a requirement. It doesn't require your recommendation, so she can add that item
Like I
concerning.
stated, I'm not an attorney, I'm just making.
Well, the
my-
record will
my
duly
knowledge.
reflect that, that's your position. In the meantime, the board president has made a motion you need a second, and then you can take a vote on that.
I'd like to speak before the motion. I'd like to add that while we were in executive session, council asked me for board docs and threatened that as she's 73 years old, if I didn't give her access because it was different from the prior attorney's access, that I may be, she didn't want me to say it. I asked her to say it in public. She said I didn't want her to say it in public, and kind of threatened possibly that I would be in a greater risk or condition if I treated her any differently. I'm not treating her any differently. I just requested that a motion be done by the board president. Thank you.
You can,
Second, anyone?
Second.
Okay. Heather, yes. Lisa?
Yes.
Nidia?
Yes.
Carla?
Yeah.
Magali?
Yes.
And then we also need a motion to approve board council
Was
contract.
already approved.
the contract has not been approved. By your position, Dr. Begoli, the resolution has been approved. You insisted that the
The
contract.
resolution includes the agreement and your contracted rate. You have not seen the resolution. It has already been approved at the June 9th meeting.
Make a motion. Yeah, an additional motion. Board President has made a motion to approve council's contract. She needs a second for that.
Second.
My understanding, I'm going to allow the motion to move forward even though I believe it's incorrect.
You can contest them all, but.
I can contest them all. You're correct.
Heather, yes. Lisa?
Yes.
Nidia?
Yes.
Carla?
Abstain. I voted no on the previous one, so I'm abstaining.
Okay. And Magali?
Yes.
Any other new business? Board comments? Public comments? Public comments are invited at the East Orange Board of Education meeting. Speakers must identify themselves. Each speaker has 3-minute limit, and the board may not respond to all comments. The forum is expected and disrupted. Individuals may be removed. Comments on students and employees are discouraged and won't be addressed. The board is not liable for public comments, and speakers should consider legal rights and potential responsibility for their students. Any public comments? Okay, motion to adjourn.
Motion. Second.
And do I have to do roll call for each, or?
No, it's just motion.
Okay. Then we're done for this meeting. Motion is, meeting adjourned.
All those in favor of closing the
Oh.
meeting, say aye.
Okay, all those in favor of closing the meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting closed, 4:12. Do you need these notes or no? I did this. Okay.
I need to,
Yeah, this is done.
Who's your pen
as Mr. Carter.
I'm doing that now.
You-
No,
Oh,
this is, yeah, no.